The holiday of Sukkot is the last holiday in the month of Tishrei, and of course it's the culminating holiday. Again with Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Chag Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret. It's the holiday of the 7th month. It's called Chag HaAsif. The Torah describes the holiday of Sukkot in the book of Vayikra, in chapter 23, in the list of festivals. And the Torah says in the beginning, in the 33rd pasuk, that God spoke to Moshe, "Daber b'nei Yisrael, b'chamisha hayom l'chodesh hashvi'i hazeh, Chag HaSukkot, Shivat Yamim L'Hashem." So the holiday of Sukkot is a 7-day holiday, the Torah says. The first day is a holy day. The Torah then continues that for 7 days we bring sacrifices. And then, in the 37th pasuk, Eila Moadei Hashem. These are the festivals of God. Asher Tikru Otam, Mikrai Kodesh. You shall proclaim the sacred occasions. You bring sacrifices, etc. And Nuvad Shabtot Hashem, apart from the other Sabbaths of God, apart from your gifts. Eila Moadei Hashem. That sounds like the very good concluding verse to the list of festivals in the book of Vayikra. To our amazement then, in verse number 39, the Torah continues. But on the 7th month, the 15th day, when you gather in, when you gather in the yield of your land, you shall observe a 7-day festival. The first day and the 8th day are days of rest. You shall take on the first day what we call the Arba Minim, the Hadas, the palm, etc. You shall celebrate 7 days. And then, verse 42, Basukot Teshvu Shivat Yamim, you shall dwell in Sukkot for 7 days. And the last verse, L'man Yedu, Dorotechem, know that the generations know, Ki Basukot Shafti Bnei Yisrael, B'otziot Mi'aretz Mitzrayim. Everybody should know that the Israelites dwelt in booths, says God, when I took them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God, Ani Hashem Elokechem. I am the Lord your God. Vayidaber Moshe Moadei Hashem El Bnei Yisrael. So Moses declared to Israelites to set times of God. It's very strange. We have a description of Sukkot. We have a list of festivals. It seems to end. And then the Torah suddenly once again picks up with Sukkot, and we have a second ending. What do you make of the fact that the holiday of Sukkot has 2 endings? Eila Moadei Hashem, and finally, L'man Yedu Dorotechem. So there's a lot to say about this. I'll make one small suggestion about the holiday of Sukkot. The holiday of Sukkot is listed in the list of festivals. The holiday of Sukkot, in its own right, is a special time, a special holiday, a joyous holiday. It has its place. But then the Torah says something else about the holiday of Sukkot. That the holiday of Sukkot is not only special in its own right, but the holiday of Sukkot must be seen as the culmination of all the holidays. And the Torah says the purpose of the Sukkot, L'man Yedu Dorotechem, nor that the generations know, Ki Basukot Hoshafti Bnei Yisrael, that I caused them to dwell in Sukkot, when I took them out of Egypt, I am the Lord your God. And that verse actually recalls for us another verse, one that appears in the book of Exodus, when the Torah describes the building of the tabernacle, the building of the Mishkan. What is the purpose of the Mishkan? So the Torah says that the purpose of the Mishkan, in chapter 29 of Sefer Shemot, the book of Exodus, in order that you know, says the Torah, that I took you out of Egypt for the purpose of dwelling amongst you. That is the purpose of the Mishkan. The knowledge that we gain from the Mishkan in one way or another, either experiential, either by contemplating the Mishkan, either by hearing God's continuing commanding voice. All of those are good possibilities. But the purpose of the Mishkan is that we know. And that's the culminating story of the book of Exodus. And that's the culmination, as it were, of the Exodus from Egypt. We went out of Egypt, but we have to understand what that's about. L'man Yedu. And here too, the holiday of Sukkot, which is also a Mishkan. The Sukkah is a mini Mishkan. It's a place in which we can find God's presence. And the Torah says two things about Sukkot. It's important in its own right, but it's also important because it's the culmination, it's the completion of all the festivals, the purpose of all the festivals, the purpose of the entire journey through time and through space. Is that we come to an understanding, a deep understanding of what the purpose of all the festivals is, and of course the culminating three words, Ani Hashem Elokechem, I am the Lord your God. Chag Sameach.